Welcome, brothers. Welcome, sisters. Welcome to our program On Target. As usual, as soon as we start this program, you can pick up the telephone and give us a call. And we are apologies. We were not able to carry the program yesterday. We had some serious challenges. But we're on today. And welcome. The number to call is 442-0175. We're on RealFM 91.5. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. And we encourage you to share the program. Subscribe to RealFM and share the program. A lot of challenges and a lot of subject matter and issues that we could speak about. We give you the opportunity to interrupt us and make your case. While we wait on you today, we will continue to ask questions. It is necessary to ask questions of this government because they are very reluctant to provide information. And even the best of their politicos cannot answer. So it means some of the ministers don't have a clue why. Some of the political activists of the NDC don't know why. The doctor of journalism and the photogenic one don't know why. We don't know if the people in the diaspora have answers. But we want answers. So we ask questions. And today I'm asking, why is the NDC government, what is the NDC government housing policy? It is important to know. It seems as though the goalpost is changing every day. Prior to the election, they promised to build 500 houses in every constituency. Then you hear it is not every constituency, it's every parish. You heard from the Prime Minister of Grenada, 500 houses in every parish. Grenadian-style houses. So they rejected the apartment-type buildings that most politicians, social scientists, people in planners agree in small countries, because of the limitation of land, you have to go up. The NDC defy gravity. They say no. They want Grenadian-style houses. And they will be building 500 houses in every parish. Well, 7th parish in Grenada. So that's 3,500 houses. But you believe they would have stopped there? They say per annum, every year. So that is 3,500 houses. Let's say 4 years. Let me don't give them 5. So you're talking about 14,000 houses. What is the NDC government policy on housing? Remember, they met 100 housing units in Kareku. People was given the keys. They took it back from the people. They claimed to review. We had a disaster in Kareku. Somebody please help me explain or help me understand. You have 100 housing unit in Kareku. As far as we know, the hurricane did not do any significant or serious damage to the housing unit. Why is the government denying the people of Karakou the 100 houses. Why that 100 housing unit is not used for the purpose it was constructed? Everybody in Grenada, everybody knows that those were low-income houses. People who did not have the wherewithal to go to the bank. People the bank don't like. People who the bank don't appreciate coming in the bank. People whose income doesn't make sense for them to go in the bank. 100 housing unit was built in Karakou for that purpose. Why is it the government of Grenada, led by Deacon Mitchell, is refusing to give the low-income people the houses? Even when you have a disaster, where you get this level of heartlessness? You are hearing reports and you don't know how true it is. But you are hearing there are instances in Karakou, I don't know how much, where people purchase lumber and the lumber is stolen from them by people who don't have. Even though it's one incident, or 10 incidents, or 20 incidents, it don't look good. The government should run to arrest that. This is not good information going out to the rest of the world. Those who could buy, the government tell them go in the bank. Even teachers, they say all you getting pay, go in the bank to take loan and buy. Those who cannot buy, it seems that they are stealing from those who buy. That we have to understand that, We selected a group of political neophytes. They're heartless. They're vengeful. And they are deceivers. Because they told the people that they would give them the houses. They complained that the previous government was too slow in giving out the houses. They accused the government of being criminals. Now that they get the house in their hand, 2 years has passed. We have a disaster. And they are refusing to give the people the house. What we hear on the ground is that people in the diaspora, Grenadians in America and Canada and England, the government seems to sell the house, get them married. That is what we are hearing on the ground. And after 2 years, and these rumors and speculation is going around, believe it or not, some of us start to believe it. The only reason that I still have doubt about it, I don't understand how we could have selected among us, among our children, the worst group to lead us. How could we have done that? I don't think any normal parent would take discretionary income or money that they have to build their homes and give their son who is addicted on coke to manage. You go take all in coke. That is what we Grenadians did. We selected the worst group of Grenadians among us to run the country. And they like a taunt in our own flesh. So we appeal to the brothers in the diaspora. This is the situation on the ground. We have 100 housing units in Carriacou. We have people in Carriacou whose houses are under tarpaulin. The government tell those who could go in the bank, go in the bank. And we are hearing that those who cannot go in the bank are stealing from those who went in the bank. I want to warn Deacon Mitchell. And Deacon, you could go and test what I'm saying. Ask any social scientist. Ask any psychologist. Then when a people survival is threatened, the moral code of ethics deteriorate. You are pushing the people of Carriacou to commit crimes. They are watching their homes not being rebuilt. Although you receive over $100 million from the insurance. And the expectation is that that money will be spent to help the people fix the roof. And you will be particularly sensitive to those in the lower income group. That is the expectation. Welcome, caller.
Good morning, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother.
The voice of one crying out in the wilderness for the people of Carriacou and Pitimatnik. Mr. Pierre, I heard that you made a statement about those who can afford is buying. And those who cannot afford to buy is stealing from those who could afford to buy. And that is facts. There are people in Carriacou that come into Grenada and purchase the material and going back to Carriacou to build the home. And there are those who cannot afford to do as such. And as a result of that, they're going to steal from those who have. That is not a right thing for anybody to do. But Mr. Pierre, desperate people do desperate things. After this administration has received, 14 days after the passing of burial, $118 million, you refuse to assist the people of Carriacou and Pitimatnik. I have news for Deacon Mitchell. Desperate people do desperate things. And sir, you are pushing the Carriacou people and the Pitimatnik people to the limit. They're going to rebel. Grenadians are going to rebel against you, sir, and you do not have what it takes to stop them. Mr. P, have a good day.
Yes, scholar. I think Deacon would not hear you. He will not hear me too. That's why I beg him to get a psychologist. I believe that the Prime Minister needs to sit down with a psychologist. And I constantly ask the question, who sent Deacon? Who is the individual or individuals that is dictating our foreign policy? Because it's difficult for me to accept that an ordinary Grenadian would behave as Deacon Mitchell. From the time he came in power over 2 years ago, he seems to be preoccupied attacking the people in the lower income group. He started with the removal of $150 from the elderly. He removed money from the disadvantaged children. We heard the cry of people who is physically challenged. They was disadvantaged by the government. We see the level of torture and removal of money from the Imanis. We cry out for the women of Karikou that lost their job between 3 to 19 years working with government. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother.
Good afternoon. Mr. Pierre, people saying that they're crying in the wilderness, they do not have anything. But they don't put in one finger to help the people of Karikou. Mr. Pierre, the government of Grenada make allowance in the budget and hardware store. They take out to every $100 those people spend. You know how much dollars they getting out from that? They get out $25 from the VAT and all the other taxes. That is relief for the people in Karikou and the northeast, north of Grenada. And you're still saying government $25 on every $100 you spend, you're getting that and you don't get nothing still. But you want everything free. You don't want to put nothing, you don't want to work for nothing at all. That is how we train we Grenadians. We want everything free. Hand out. And when you can't pay civil servants, you can't pay teachers, you can't pay nobody, all of them run them ball, this and that. $25 on every $100, that is sufficient for the people and them. They bring every soul in Karikou have that opportunity.
Yes, caller, thank you. Caller, you might have to go back and study Sky Red. Eric Gary was asking for $1 a day. They say the administrator says a little black boy. Don't bother with him, he's a little black boy. The British sent 2 battleships in Grenada. I think eventually Gary get $125 a day. They burn down somebody's places. They share land. And they beat somebody's planters. Caller, during slavery, they said that is enough. We are speaking about a government that is extremely heartless. Neighboring St. Vincent. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother.
With due respect to you and your program, ask that last idiot that called your program, that idiot that make that erroneous, stupid comment, ask him, if the people of Karikou and Pitimatnik lost everything, where do they get the money to buy? Ask that idiot. If the people of Karikou and Pitimatnik, bro, lost everything they don't have, they lost everything. Where do they get in money to buy material to get 25% out of every $100? Are you real, bro? Man, you stop and smell what you're shoveling. Thank you, Mr. Pierre.
We always have to. This period could be a very emotional period. And people who have lived in Karikou and know what is going on could be really upset. So I understand your caller. I have spent a couple years working in Karikou and visited there walking more than 20 times. So perhaps we might be a little emotional, but we must remember everybody have this say. And we have to show a high level of tolerance for one another. Some people don't understand. During Hurricane Haifan, I had significant losses. but I couldn't open my mouth. I couldn't tell people what to lose because there was so much of people around me who lost everything. And it's difficult. There are some companies that may lose millions of dollars and facing bankruptcy. But an individual next door who had only $2,000 lose everything. I want the adults in Grenada, including the insensitive Dick Mitchell and poor people terrorists, to understand what it means when an elderly woman tell you, after Hurricane Janet, girls turn women and boys turn man overnight. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, good afternoon. Yeah. Mr. Pierre, could you grant me permission, please? Just make an announcement of what a meeting coming up.
Well, the best thing to do is to say it because you...
Okay, all right, yeah. This Thursday coming, the Parliamentary Committee will be having a meeting at the Busheju Committee Center. Meeting start at 6:30 p.m. We're asking the people send their notice to come out to the meeting to hear what the parliamentary has to say. All right, so you will get information, factual information about what is going on in the country. Because one thing NMP does, they don't tell the things that is not true. They tell the things that exactly what is going on in the country and the way the government is getting it in parliament and the treatment the people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique is going through under this government, where the government get money to assist the people that get damaged. Instead of reaching out and helping the people, they put the money in the bank and asking the people to go and get loan, take loan. The people in a dire situation, they ask them to go and take loan. And this is something this government is doing to the poor people of Grenada and Carriacou and Petit Martinique. Instead of helping them and making life easier for them, they're making life more difficult for the poor people of Grenada and Petit Martinique. I want to say to this government, have a heart of love. Have a heart of love. Look at the poor people as human beings. Don't look at them as inferior people and you are superior. Because when anyone dies, the poor man grave, he had the grave is not 8 inches and yours is 4 inches. Every grave dig same depth. So treat people in love. Have a heart for the poor people of Greater Carriacou Martinique. Reach out and help them. You will need them some days to come. You will need them. And if you reach out and help people, they will reach out back and help you. But when you treat people as nobody, you will get back in that in return. So I just want to remember the people of St. John Northwest about a meeting coming up Thursday at Busheju at 6:30 p.m.
Yes, sir. I think it's also important for Dick Mitchell to understand the significance in history of Sparrow Song, Jean and Dinah, Rosita and Clementina. You see, these songs were sung at a period of time that told a story and the repercussions. And when the elderly, and I've never seen an elderly woman, most of the men don't speak about that. A woman tells you that after the hurricane, girls turn woman and boys turn man. They always did it with a sad face. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, good afternoon, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
How do you do?
Great, ma'am.
Mr. Pierre, you listen to the point this morning?
No. Morning time, I was doing the job. No opportunity to listen to it.
Okay. Mr. Pierre, this morning, Mr. Joseph was on the to the point. And he has some, I don't know the name to give them.
Don't give them name. Just say some colors.
You know, some colors. It's some colors, they do know what they have to do. some people like to uphold too much of wickedness. Dr. Mitchell saying that Dr. Mitchell to disrespect to walk out Parliament. And what Dr. Mitchell sit down in Parliament to do when they disqualify him? Huh? What is sitting down in Parliament to do?
But caller,
walk out and the fans and them walk out.
Caller.
Dr. Mitchell is the head of the opposition, and he had to ask questions, and then he fans and them follow him, asking what he asked. You talking about? So if they don't answer him, they will answer one of them who they inside there. I listen some people talking. That is how them people are them acting. That's why the children don't respect in Grenada, or they don't respect in themselves. If people could sitting down and saying things in their mouth like that, Mr. Pierre, they're wicked. Why so we don't live in Canada here? I don't know that. We don't live in America. We have to time to show better respect. Trust me, because if they disrespect Dr. Mitchell, he cannot talk and say nothing. Why is he sitting inside there? And if his fans and them come with him and they're disrespecting him, I going to do the same thing too. So I don't see why this morning I only call on them. Like this host have he call on them to answer. Because if it's you and a person have to say what they have to say, you don't get it through. You have the fans and them to answer, and them alone I want to talk and say what they want. Mr. Pierre, I just don't like to hear how we Grenadians living in this country here. Have a blessed day.
Yes, thank you. But you must also understand the politics. When the NNP have an opportunity on the radio, the NDC try to bombard them to change the topic to cause divisiveness. The NDC dominated social media prior to the election and for a greater part after. The NNP have to prepare our people, their people, to challenge the NDC on social media, to ask questions and to challenge them. And if you follow me on Facebook, they have to run. Whether it is Ronald Robinson, whether it is cousin Danley, whether it's my brother Ray, because they're not able to answer questions. So they have to run. When they make statements, don't get preoccupied or worked up. That is the politics. And the NDC have been at it for 10 years. The most disrespectful organization in Grenada is NDC. Their mouthpiece say they attack the church, every organization and institution. They even attack NDC who was not so supportive of them. I saw one of them shut up Ronald Robinson on radio. Randall called him to say, no, you should not be saying that about public officers. He cut out Randall Robinson. The most disrespectful bunch. That is why Deacon Mitchell could endorse and claim and refer to Grenadians as classless. You want more disrespect than that? Deacon Mitchell refer to some people in Grenada as classless. He said, in response to a question from an alien land, we campaign on a policy of transformation. He laughed. But it is not so much transformation. It is restorative justice. I have challenged Ronald Robinson to tell us what he understands by restorative justice and the justification. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, and target listener.
Yeah.
Mr. Pierre, in concerning with the situation with Dr. Mitchell at the Parliament when he was suspended his presentation, right? Dr. Mitchell didn't get a chance to reach to his questions as yet. He was given his prelude to what he was coming with, right? Mr. Pierre, two other presenters presented their case in that Parliament there in the name of Honorable Kirin James and Honorable Delma Thomas, right? And had you listened to those presentations, what happened with Dr. Mitchell was bound to happen with either the members of his opposition also. Because Kirin James get up and blatantly lied. Likewise, Delma Thomas. So this thing was orchestrated. I keep saying.
But are you surprised? Are you surprised?
I'm not surprised.
The NDC does plan lies. The NDC does sit down in the lab and plan lie. It's difficult. You expect them to speak the truth. That is why.
If you had listened to Kirin James in particular, her whole presentation, it was riddled with lies from the start to finish. If you listen to Delma, it was riddled with lies. So either way, either Dr. Mitchell or one of his members would have been in some problem with rebutting what these people were saying. And it was orchestrated to do exactly what it done, to get the people to hate on Dr. Mitchell for walking it, because they know Dr. Mitchell won't take on that nonsense they get on with. And the Speaker of the House in his what I should say,
the speaker biased, the speaker recklessly biased, and he don't know the rules.
He do not know the rules. So
he don't know the rules. He embarrassing himself.
You are getting paid. You are getting paid. Dr. Mitchell is trying to ask the question and try to bring the question as clear as possible. Are you telling me you have a ministry of MIT that have $15 million allocated to build 200 houses at $50,000? A budget document that is clearly wrong, the math is wrong by $5 million, and all you don't have nothing to say about that. I mean, the houses you all say you're building is $10 million, and so you go by $500,000 again.
Well, $5 million is for finance fees, for logistics, it's big money.
I mean, these are the little things that this budget have allocated that. In the first instance, why, if you're doing so good in the economy, Andy Williams, you have to go back and get a supplementary budget for all that money? Why? All these roads. Look at Molineux right now. Molineux Road is again slipping.
Well, Color, you expect Andy, Color Andy's the engineer.
I don't know how. Watch, man. I don't mind these people and them. They can lie, but oh God, it's too blatant. And lastly, the callers that the previous caller talked about that called this morning, I listened to them. And it's the same players. And these people, they can say what they want. Them hate Kit Mitchell to a T. They hate him.
I don't think it's Kit Mitchell they hate, caller. And I think that is a mistake we make. They hate the people in the lower income group. And Kit Mitchell and his team represents them.
I listened to a lady that claimed to say that she supported Andy, and Andy is not representing her in her constituency, right? You claim to this lady was cussing Deacon Mitchell from day one. From day one. Now you tell me, how is that not hypocrisy? Brother man, I cannot be so hypocrite in my life. I'm telling you. I cannot. It's either for you or against you. I don't join you no time, because your principles can't be aligned with mine if I'm cursing from the beginning, which means that for somewhere, if money pass, I don't know what passed, but something passed. But hypocrisy seems to be the end of the day with these people, and it's dangerous for democracy. Once again, folks, NMP supporters, look at the voters list, canvass the list. And to the folks in the diaspora, mind your business with what's taking place in American politics. You can mind what's taking place here, but mind your business, because trust me, y'all don't come and put us in problem again and leave and go. It's not nice. Mr. Pierre, have a good afternoon.
I think we must not, first of all, we must understand that this government lying as when horse-trotting. And they're sitting on and plan lies. And you must not go behind the distraction. Too much of time we end up with the distraction. Rather than deal with the issue in Parliament, where the speaker was blatantly biased and he did not know the rules. That should. And the normal thing under these circumstances is for the opposition to protest. We're asking about the miscalculation, which is important. But how could you put 15 million under MIT? That is corruption. What is MIT? Mobilization, implementation, and transformation. The Prime Minister, Deacon Mitchell, said, it is not so much transformation, it is restorative justice. What is restorative justice? Political vengeance. Implementation. Sometimes people feel the bureaucracy in the public service is sluggish. So they say you have to try to expedite the bureaucracy. So nothing is wrong with implementation. Perhaps if the government had put William Joseph and Ray Roberts to assist with implementation, I would have supported. Two senior public officers that have walked the straight and narrow and have reached the highest level in their discipline. They understand the public service. They would seek the interests of NDC, and they may be able to facilitate the process. Mobilization. Mobilization is for political mischief. So when you take 15 million and you put under MIT, that is for political mischief. And I don't think NNP ministers, supporters, etc. have dealt correctly with MIT. MIT should be disbanded. It's a corrupt group. It's a group that has been set up for political mischief. And the money you're giving them is not for a house, is to reward, is perhaps to reward those who they're using for political mischief. Money for housing must go under housing. Housing. If you have $15 million, you have a Department of Housing and Ministry, that is where you must go. Under MIT is corruption. Yes, caller, welcome. Yes, caller, welcome. We lost that caller? Caller, you there? Don't listen to you radio. Follow us up on the phone.
Yes, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother.
Yes.
Go ahead. You see in trouble with the internet? Caller, I think you're struggling with the internet. You got to call us back. Try and call us back. Just call again. And don't move when you're calling, if that is the factor. So, government have to ask to disband MIT. MIT is a corrupt entity. It is for political mischief. And I challenge anyone in this country to explain the reason, the justification for the necessity for MIT. Bearing in mind that Deacon said, we campaign on a policy of transformation. He laughed. But it is not so much transformation. It is restorative justice. The practicality, the workability, I like workability, Maurice Bishop. The implementation of restorative justice is political vengeance and victimization. Now, how could the government take 15 million and give MIT? How could you do that? If you have money for housing, it must go under housing. Most of the people in MIT is politically warped. They are militant. Most of them are radicalized NDC. That hunting down green blood. How could you go in parliament and take 15 million and put MIT? That is washing government money. Deacon Mitchell, when you put that money in MIT, it is tantamount to washing money. That's how the jugman and him does. People are arguing about whether they spend 10 million or 5 million. It's neither here nor there. They're washing money. That is the government we have. We have to ask ourselves, how could we use our most unproductive children, those that are on drugs, to manage? You can do that. If you have a son going in mental institute, every time you're going to be compassionate, you're going to empathize with him. But you'll give him thing to go and give you injection? Yes, caller, welcome.
Yes, Mr. Pierre, good evening. I own a bus, right? Fully comprehensive, insured. The bus met up in a terrible accident, and mostly everybody on the bus get damaged. Damage to who hand me break, who foot me break, who reach a break, who knows this, who that. And people now come with the claim. I now get the insurance. Should I now say I'm taking the insurance money for me to give to the people and put it in a bank and say, people go to the bank and take it as a loan?
Wrong example.
I have to give them people the money?
Wrong example.
I have to go.
Wrong example. When the insurance pay the money, is for the boss. The insurance will have to pay the people for themselves. But I get your intention.
Right.
What Deacon Mitchell today is like a bandit. He's a deceiver. He deceived the people. That is why I believe, I fully agree he's poor people terrorists. He got the money from the insurance. And that money ought to be used. We can't tell him what to do with it. But it ought to be used. It is expected to use. The intention of the architects of the insurance that will use that money to help the people who suffered seriously. Deacon is a deceiver.
Exactly. That's the point I'm coming with.
Yes, he's a deceiver.
So you're supposed to go to help the people, because remember, there are people who are poor people who live from hand to mouth.
Mr. Tillman says so-called poor. The NDC says so-called poor. The NDC don't care.
So then what? Well, if it's me, I want to take the body.
Well,
you know what Criff should have done? Criff should have just look into that money.
They can't do that. It's the government that
investigate that.
No, they cannot do that. They cannot do that. They cannot do that. The government ensure.
But I find they should have a clause. They should have a clause.
Well, maybe in the future they can't do that.
Because you have to remember. You have to remember. Is our taxpayers' money what pay Criff $1 million every year?
We that do that.
Our taxpayers' money.
We selected political neophytes around country. So we expect they're going to do a lot of wrong things. And this group don't good.
Mr. Pierre, thank God it's only Carriacou and part of the Northern Ireland will get damaged. Mr. Pierre, if was the whole country to get damaged now,
well, when God give you an opportunity to make decision, make wrong decision. And see if God will live with it for 400 years in trouble.
But it's true now, Mr. Pierre.
God give you opportunity.
Go and they make the wrong decision. God said, I will be your king. They say, no, we want a king like the other nation. The other nation is heathen nation, the Hittites, the Amorites, the Amalekites and them. These people is all heathen nation. They don't believe in God.
Joke with your history.
So they had a corrupt king.
Joke with your history.
And then Israel said, And Israel say, give me a king, or I want to king. God say, okay, I'll give you the king, but you will have to suffer consequences with the
You
king I give
must
you.
suffer
You will have
consequences.
to suffer consequences.
Yeah.
And they suffer consequences for many times and for a number of years. They suffer consequences. And therefore, Grenada, when we make a decision, we have to make positive decisions.
And we're going to
because of
suffer
this
consequences for a long time, you know. What this government
a
is
long time.
doing, look at what they're doing to Carriacou. Some of the people who don't have money to buy material, it seems that they're stealing those who buy.
I hear that.
You're mashing up the very fabric of the society. I have been on the radio for almost 2 years with this statement, restorative justice. I've been asking why. I heard the cry
Mr.
of the
Pierre,
girl.
You wouldn't get an answer.
Well, I wouldn't stop ask.
You will not.
We have to go to the...
But I know you wouldn't get... Because if these people are never apologizing, whether they're wrong or they're right. Did you ever hear NDC apologize to anybody when they do the wrong thing?
NDC don't care about you see.
Exactly. And since ever since, they don't care about people, what who they hurt, who they terrorize, who they do all kind of wickedness to. They people have no remorse. They people fire from Carriacou. Claude say she's satisfied with that with a smile on her face. You know? So when you see people doing that, they justifying themselves with no remorse. What you're telling me? What you're telling me about these people and them? So, Grenadians, it's time that we wake up, smell the coffee, and let us not make dotish decisions. Because whether we want to give young people fresh blood, I'm fed up. I want that change. We tired. He tired. He need to go. We was too comfortable. Yeah, we was too comfortable, so God had to make us uncomfortable. Just like the children of Israel, God give them comfortable man, I know. But I want meat, God give them quilt bust out the ears, the nose, the mouth, the eye, the bottom, all we a whole quilt bust out. We just have to suffer consequences. Understand? So have a good evening, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, Colin. I think some people believe that this country is like a pipe. You go and open the pipe, water fall out. You don't care if you close it back and next time you go back for water. The democratic system provides an opportunity for you to choose the government of your choice. If you selected a bunch of political neophytes, you expect consequences. Yes, caller, welcome.
Hello, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, caller, welcome.
I am calling. Yes, hello. You hear me, right?
Yeah, loud and clear.
My TV radio down.
I hear you loud and clear and I recognize the voice.
Yeah. All right, good. I'm calling from the North Next State, as usual. I think, my personal thing, the NNP and the NDC, is winning the battle of words because they are able to put a smoke screen in front of everybody's eyes with what most of our program is talking about, and they are doing their work in the background. Let's look. There was a headline: the revenue of the first half of this year for Grenada, that's from January to June, surpasses the amount, right, by 42 million. They collected $737 million, of which 247 was from the new crop that they plant, which is the CBI program. This plant doesn't need no vegetation, no watering. The CBI program is making more money than our cocoa and nutmeg. But most importantly, what I call about we should be paying attention to is what Mr. Hosford referred to, is the illegal registering of names. There are 8,512 new Grenadians. And I remember one of the guys said that we are making our country smaller by when we are registering CBI recipients. Now, St. Kitts and St. Lucia, the CBI recipients cannot vote. That was one. I also listened to Tillman Thomas administration say that, why are we giving these people rights to vote? Now, if these 8,512 people are strategically placed in areas where Grenada election, nobody wins by a lot, by high numbers. Now you have 8,512 people that was registered in 2 years. The NNP in 2010, that program started, and NNP had 7,492 in 8 years, and in 2 years, 8,512, and break it down further. In 2 months, 3,034 in 2 months. Okay, I mean in 2 years. Sorry, the last 2 years. So, if these people register and we don't pay attention to the voting list, I think what we should be, me speaking as a NNPites, what we should be doing is training people to be at the polling booths next election. What are we looking for? If I see, I'm from St. Patrick's, if I see Wang Yu and Long Ho on the voting list, we have no Chinese in Montrose or St. Patrick's up there, then that is more important than we bickering about these guys. These guys, they are Alibaba and the 40 thieves. Let them thief what they could right now and concentrate on winning. They are putting smoke screen in our eye. Now, let me close. The Prime Minister was going to say something about why he was kicked out. And he realized that, that he was being very diplomatic. That's the job of the Governor General, to speak and say that is out of order. I ask myself the question, why is Tillman Thomas our acting Governor General? The Governor General isn't he supposed to be neutral? That's supposed to be a neutral person. But on the right time they did that, the Governor General was out of the country and Tillman Thomas was the Governor General. That's when they pulled that trick. Okay, I'm going to turn my volume back on now on my TV and listen to you.
You made a lot of Kala, you made a lot of powerful points. It's a lot. So they had to deal with. But in terms of the voters list, that is not my work. That is the job of the parliament, the people, the NNP executive. The NNP executive, they have to put the machinery in place. They are the ones to train people to go and look at the list. Everybody don't know what to do. They have to train the coordinators in the constituency and 2 or 3 people in the polling division to do the work. If they want to sit down there and watch it, that is their business. The previous election, NNP won by over 10,000 votes. This government won by about 3,000 votes. The word on the ground in Grenada is that is why the government is not giving the houses to the people of Karakou. The deceivers intend to take the house away from the ordinary man and give it to the people in the diaspora to get their vote. That is the word on the ground. They are not giving the people the houses. And whether it's in St. Patrick's or the other, that is the intention. That is why they change the manner in which the people would pay for the house. From rent to own to cash. Because those people in the diaspora could pay them cash. And in so doing, they hope they will buy the vote. That is the government we have. That is the deceivers we have in the country. They raid the GDB bank. The directors of the bank flaunt the law with impunity. And they gave money to themselves. And they gave loans to ministers. Members of this present government, several of the members, I understand the word on the ground, including Nazim Bok. I don't know how true it is. We've been asking, we ain't getting an answer. Are agents selling passport? The corruption that goes on in national lottery has shocked Lacquette. Lacquette couldn't take it again. They fired. And they had police accompany him from the office. Some of the advocates want to close down radio station and jail individuals. Imagine some of the people that are speaking, the children won't get a job with government easy. They won't get a scholarship with government easy. That is what we have in government. And I say to them, the revolution did worse. They jailed 3,000 Grenadians. They castrated Broko. And they executed the sister from Burjgove. And they treated the Rastafarians in Grenada in the worst way. And then they executed Maurice Bishop. And Maurice Bishop had more, you know. But he got executed. That is our history. That is the reality. Right now, the NDC, they're not answering questions. They're trying to intimidate and threaten people who they could intimidate and threaten. But that is the NDC. They decide to be crooked and see if they could run the country by illegal means. Most of the individuals who was going around as if they had a gallard around the neck, as if accountability, transparency was tied around the neck like a gallard. Now they have lost their tongue. They shut their mouth, they can't speak. When you challenge them on Facebook, they have to run because they cannot face the truth. And I encourage other NNP supporters, stick with the truth and don't get sidetracked. Don't run behind little distraction. Distraction is important. An investigation in national lottery, more important. The board of directors of GDB fine, more important. Knowing what the government mean by restorative justice is more important. The 100 house unit in Karakou is more important. The fact that when a man's survival is threatened, his moral code of ethics deteriorates is more important. And the Minister of Legal Affairs, you see the impact you're having when you want to shoot Babylon Bobo. Back with you tomorrow between 12 and 1 for another opportunity on Target, and you can punch.